What is going down, everyone? Hola, ¿cómo estás? I'm back from Mexico. This is episode 397 of The Hype. We got some new eBay news about auctions, how snipers are going to be pissed. We're going to talk about that and how that affects hobbies and sales. Also, Caitlin Clark's rookie royalty. They talked about it last week. We've got some sales data, hottest product on the planet. And we have some James Wood talk. The guy's on fire. Lots of that and more. We're approaching our 15-year anniversary party at the National, guys. Head over to our link tree. There's already been over 100 people that have RSVP'd. So we're running out of space. So make sure you RSVP if you are in Chicago on Thursday. That is what, July 31st?
July 31st.
July
Thursday,
31st.
Right across from the convention center itself. If you're at the convention center, you can just take that sky bridge, walk right over. You don't even have to go through the sweltering heat of Chicago in the middle of the summer. Spread the word out to everybody who went in our last couple parties, and the reception has been awesome. So thank you, everybody who's already RSVP'd. And if you're still holding on, you're thinking, am I going to the National or not? Definitely get your spot now because they are filling up fast.
Yeah, and you get to meet, we're bringing out Wee Man from the very popular Jackass TV show and movie. So you'll be able to hang out with him. We got free breaks. We've got an open bar. We got food and karaoke. How many people have we signed up for the karaoke, Cody?
That we need to get a few more people signed up.
Okay.
People have been shy. It's right there. We said, hey, if you want to sign up, just hit us up on the IG DM. So, again, the invitation is open. Hit us up, IG at Mojobreak_com. DM us and let us know.
And all it is
please don't force us to sing all night.
Yeah, you don't want to hear us.
Don't be shy. You're among friends. You're among people you've been in breaks with, or you've met in real life at shows, or whatever. It'll be fun. Don't worry.
It's just a verse and a chorus. So you're up there for about a minute and a half, and you got the chance to win a National Treasures box. So get your song that you think is going to win over the judges. Yeah. We might have a celebrity judge. We might have some other hobbyists as judges, and the highest score obviously will win that National Treasures box, which also reminds me, since it is our 15-year anniversary, we got a special. This is a big coupon. So you may want to head over there right now for mojobreak.com. 15% off. I don't think we're going to even make any money on the breaks for the people that use 15% off because that's about our margin, but use code BREAK15, and there's only 20 uses total, one per customer. So for you early birds that listen to our podcast once it's posted, go in and get something. 15% off anything on the site. If you want rookie royalty, if you want the new Mosaic, there's lots of stuff on the site. Dan's just hearing word of this now.
I heard rookie royalty, and I'm like, it's expensive.
It's expensive.
15% off of what, $1,000? $150?
$150.
Don't think about it. Don't think about it too hard.
Well, maybe Wee Man will not be coming to the parties. We won't be able to afford it.
No, he's coming.
No, he's going to be there. And we'll have some other guests as well. We're looking forward to seeing you guys at the National and hanging out with all you guys that listen to our show or buy into our breaks. And it's always a great time of year to see you guys in person. I may ask you guys at one point to just go in the corner and type to me because I'm more used to that. But, no, we'll have a good time. So. Man, the mic sounds great today. I don't know what it is. My mic sounds really good.
I think you've just been away from it.
Maybe so. Yeah.
It's just your heart. It's what do they say? Distance makes the heart grow fonder, or something like that. So you just are like, man, it's nice to hear ourselves again.
We have audio technicians that know what they're doing.
There's that too. We like to. Yeah, I think
unlike other events that I've
maybe Mexico cleared out my ears or something. I don't know.
I listen to our podcast, to check everything's is up to the standard that we try to uphold to ourselves. So
I like it.
So yeah,
Dan listens to every show all the way through.
All the way through.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, dude.
Twice.
100% twice.
Sometimes backwards.
One to show. Have you ever heard our show backwards?
Yeah, it's like you put on Dark Side of the Moon backwards.
Dark Side of the Moon.
You line this. I don't know if you watch Wizard of Oz.
Watch Wizard of Oz
while you listen to the hype backwards.
Yeah, it's not. You still watch the Wizard of Oz from front to back, right? You don't watch that reverse as well, right? Because you don't want to watch Wizard of Oz from back to front.
No. That's not
and then play Dark Side of the Moon back to front.
No. Then no. One forward, one
Isn't
back.
there somebody? I just saw a clip, and I don't know if it's real, but like I think it was Eminem. Somebody, the Slim Shady. Hi, my name is.
Mm-hmm.
They played it backwards, and I think he says Eminem or something.
I have seen that before. That's pretty cool.
I don't know if he planned. I mean, I'm sure he had to have planned it that way. So
yeah.
But I was going to bring back some.
How do you play records backwards?
Like. You mean like just
like
a
back
traditional vinyl?
Back in the day, yeah, when somebody would
literally would spin.
You spin it?
Yeah, you would destroy the record.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
It's like scratching.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
No, wiki, that's bad.
That's not
right.
good.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, you would have to spin it. You have to be like, all right, this one's going in the trash.
So
afterwards.
one time you'd be able to enjoy this Wizard of Oz with Dark Side of the Moon backwards one time.
You
and
had to try it once.
Throw
just
out
to know if it was true. I mean, again, we didn't have the internet back then. You had to know if it was real.
Have you ever tried it?
No. I think I've heard a recording of it, and it's like, it's a bit of a stretch. It's a little bit of a stretch. Well, as all of these things are, like if you play it backwards.
But Pink Floyd, just regular, is kind of spacey anyway.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw that you guys opened some Rolling Stone, and then I opened some.
That's right.
I opened some Rolling Stone because I felt like I was left out. I got a Color Blast. I had a Color Blast.
Oh, really?
Keith Richards Color Blast.
Keith Richards?
You win.
Well,
Dan
I think
got
they made
the
a
gold
lot of
vinyl,
them because they
which is
only
great.
go for like a couple $100, but still.
The band, all of them, going for a couple thousand. I saw.
Really?
That's pretty good.
Maybe the band one is the one you want.
Yeah, the band one and some of the lower numbered of the bigger albums of those vinyl, like the one that you hit, Dan, of the gold vinyl die cut. Some of the ones of there, because a lot of them are the live albums.
We're talking about
they
the
really stacked it up with live albums.
Rolling Stones Prism. My first box had who's the drummer?
Charlie Watts.
Charlie Watts.
Every single parallel was Charlie Watts. Every single pack. The last card was Charlie.
So you got
Watts.
you got a Charlie Watts hot box.
I just did. For you drummers
true.
out there, you guys want to trade me? Hit me up if you're collecting the Rolling Stones set, which is probably about 5 of you out there. But
fun set.
it was cool. It was I like it.
Yeah.
I wish maybe they do other bands, right? So
That's the hope.
But missed you guys. It's good to be back. But I didn't miss you guys too much on the cruise, but I did a little bit. I was the only one with the internet. I didn't want to pay $120 for 3 other people, but I paid it for myself.
Is that a day?
No, that was for the whole time.
Oh, that's not a bad deal. Giving it away.
$120.
They could have definitely raised the price on that.
Well, my kids are on the internet all day long, so I'm like, you guys can do without the internet. You're on a boat. You can do a bunch of other stuff.
There's so much stuff
Yeah,
to do.
it's like you don't need to be plugged
You're on
in.
a boat.
You didn't need plugged in. No. But yeah, so but I did walk down in Ensenada the Bufadora, which is their little marketplace there.
What did you think of La Bufadora?
It was cool. They had a little blowhole. I mean, I was thinking
What?
about trying to hire some.
The blowhole.
That a what?
It's a blowhole.
Yeah, it just spurts of
Natural
water like every
blowhole.
5 minutes.
So maybe I had a bad
geyser?
experience because we did this too. And you go up like you're going on a bus up.
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
mountains.
This guy was flying.
You're kind of like, oh boy, this is like we're going up a little treacherous terrain. Then you get there, the little walkway's nice. La Bufadora itself, right when we got there went, wait a minute, it's just like that. Like that is how I could describe it. Like just a teensy little bit of water popping up. Like, did we just all get suckered into this?
Yeah,
Like,
it wasn't
what
that
the
bad.
hell?
Yeah,
'Cause
it
then
was-
you
it
go
wasn't
back and you're
massive,
going to
but-
like all of the touristy trap spots. So it's like, oh man. Although, there's a fish taco stand there.
Oh, amazing.
Did you have them?
I had the clam ones. Yeah, they're so good.
You had
To this day-
clam tacos.
They're like an open clam with like cheese and shrimp in it and stuff. It was
Yeah.
so good.
To this day, I remember our tour guide was like, whatever, just go get the fish tacos. There's a stand right as you
at
get
the
back.
end. Yeah.
And to this day, the best fish tacos I've ever had.
A lot of some of the best food I've had there too. I mean,
Yeah.
And man, I was going to try to hire some breakers out there. Tell you, to be honest, because those guys are relentless. I mean, they even had all the catchphrases from America. I mean, they were whether they were selling churros or they were selling tequila or whatever, they were on you. They were out there selling. They were hustling.
Selling
and,
street tequila.
Yeah, they were
yeah.
making margaritas out there. And,
Nice.
The churros were life changing though. I don't think I'll be able to have another churro because the guy was telling me, he's like, you guys get these frozen churros and stuff, and he's like, these
Has
are.
he never been to a San Jose Giants
I
game?
was about to say.
This guy probably came from the Bufadora at the San Jose Giants game. But no, they're freshly made there. He said it's the only way you can have it. They can't sit. You have to eat them fresh. They're constantly just made fresh. You're just getting fresh ones every time. They're not sitting around in like that heater thing that you see.
Yeah, that's true. That's
you
true.
know what I mean? So, but it was cool.
I got to stack them up with the San Jose Giants one, which is, it's That's number one in my heart. So we'll see.
And then we went to a little like place later the next day, and we had like horchata, best horchata I've ever had in my life.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing. So,
yeah, awesome.
But yeah, let's get into some hobby talk. eBay dropped a bomb today, huh? A bomb. I don't know if this is confirmed it's going to happen or not, but basically, I think it's under the last 2 minutes. They're testing this now. That they basically do, like if you've experienced either Fanatics Collect or Golden, it basically resets the. You got another. If I understand this correctly, Cody, you get an additional 2 minutes. So,
yes.
If you're trying to get it within 1 second, you're trying to buy a James Wood auto, and it's at 150, and you're like 155, and then you win it at the last minute. Well, no, you have an additional 2 minutes where everybody gets notified that bid on it. And they could drop some more bids.
Yeah, exactly. Which is something that there have been. I think we've seen it on there's an option you can do that. I think on Fanatics Live, right, where they do the extended bid, like on auctions and stuff like that.
Popcorn bidding.
Yeah,
I mean,
popcorn bidding has been a thing.
I think Golden does this as well, right? Doesn't Golden add a certain amount of time?
Yes.
I mean, I know they have the extended bidding, but don't they add time if bids come in?
Yeah. So I'm not sure on this, and I don't know if we have any more data on this. So within 2 minutes, if somebody bids with a minute left, does it pop back to 2 minutes?
Probably back to 2 minutes.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it constantly just pops back.
Until somebody's just like,
finally,
that's it.
I'm done.
It's too much.
Yeah, which is going to be, theoretically, it's going to be amazing for sellers that they don't have to worry.
It's also amazing for eBay.
It's also amazing for eBay. Yeah, exactly. That's
not
also
amazing
true.
for buyers. But
not the best for buyers. That's very true.
I can't believe what took them so long. This kind of seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it?
This is the part where
if I'm Mr. Bay,
right?
First name E, I'm 100%. I'm on this. I'm like, we should have been doing this 20 years ago.
It's not like popcorn bidding is a new thing, too. Like it's been around. There are plenty of other apps and other auction houses who do this. So yeah, why did it take eBay so long? Was it just too tough to maybe do it on a large scale?
I feel like eBay's done things more, and this is I'm on an island on this take, but they are the most transparent auction site where you could see the history. You can't really see the names as much, but you don't really see the names on the other sites. And it's like, now you're giving somebody an opportunity that is selling this card to be like, hey, buddy, can you help me out here? You know what I mean? Like,
but doesn't it already?
It probably does, but now there's a lot more time to do that, right? Like you could this isn't where I want it to be. Let me popcorn it again. 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 Let me popcorn it again.
That's the fear of why they've never done that.
Right.
But they have to, and it's also why they kind of let this story, like they never publicly said anything. This is just something that somebody had to dig into the user agreements or into updates to see that this even happened.
Well, I think we need to see if it actually is something that is happening.
Right.
Well, let me tell you why they're doing this. Obviously, they are losing big six-figure cards to Golden, Fanatics Collect, maybe even Heritage at times because of that feature. So people that have those cards are fearing that they're going to go for half the price. There's nothing they can do.
Even though eBay just had was like the best month from a sports card category.
Yeah, there's been we'll get into it.
It was something.
They had a huge month. Hobby wide, if you go
hobby wide, but I want to say eBay was like $230 million worth of sports cards.
Yeah,
jeez,
or trading cards that were sold in the month of June or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I mean, and I think overall, like I want to say it was 350,000. So, like, eBay accounted for a substantial chunk of that.
Yeah. I think there's only about 100 million unaccounted for.
But now, like, for me, I guess, I'm mostly paying attention to auctions that are ending. I don't know if I'm going to have, when I'm buying in quantity, I'm not going to have time to, like, continue to stay on that one auction either.
No,
so, you know what I mean? So that's kind of a bummer. I guess if I put the bid high enough, I'll win it because nobody's going to popcorn me above whatever the bid is. I mean, this obviously helps.
But you potentially will end up paying more for that card.
Correct. Like, I think everybody's going to be paying more.
It is safe to say that generally every card is going to go for more now.
Going to go for more.
Yeah, that's good for the seller.
It's good for comps. I just wonder what kind of world, if, the only thing that concerns me on this whole thing is because repacks are so huge right now, and I'd say a lot of the business on all the e-commerce platforms, meaning eBay, or not eBay, I'm sorry, Whatnot, Fanatics Live, 50% at least, I would say, safe to say, is repacks, right? So cards are selling for more than they should because of repackers. What if it stops? Do these cards go down half the price, a quarter of the price? Because the repackers need product, so they're bidding these cards higher than they would if it was just, every average Joe buying it. I mean, what if there's a crackdown on repacks? That's concerning for the health of the hobby. I don't think there will be, but I'm just saying a lot of these comps are driven by the fact that people need to put these products in repacks, right? So now this is probably almost like a repacker's nightmare in a sense of trying to buy,
sure,
but a repacker's dream for comps.
Sure. For me, it's kind of a no-brainer for eBay. It's going to generate tens of millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer for them.
Now, I'm assuming it's going to be on certain limits, right? Like, I don't think a $10 card is going to popcorn. I would assume, like I said, I'm just spitballing here, it'd probably be like a $5,000 card and above that would do this, right? They're probably not going to do it on the lower level cards. I don't know, though.
No. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, maybe there's a threshold that has
then auctions can just go on forever.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And then at a certain point, it's like, well, this auction's going on forever for a card that eventually sells for, I don't know, $12. It's like, well, is it really worth it? Like,
my thing is, I would love for them to figure out to prevent shill bidding, like that when you place an auction, it puts a hold on your credit card. Like you're buying, like you are basically committed to buying.
Well, they're doing stuff because I know when we buy stuff, it's like this is going to auto pay in like a day if you don't like. So if you win an auction, you can pay right away if you manually do it. There's certain.
I didn't know they had like an auto. Like
it automatically.
That's great.
It's great. Yeah, I mean for us, but I mean for some people probably they don't have the money and it doesn't work, right?
What? Yeah.
Shouldn't bid if you don't have the money, but
right.
Or they have a credit card that's expired that's on file.
Yeah, and it doesn't get paid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see how this turns out. Obviously, I want to know what you guys think about this because eBay is now jumping into this, meaning there's really no true auction. Then again, I guess if you think about, hey, we have $5, I mean, that's extended, right? Because it's like somebody raises their thing, and then it's like, no, we have 50. Can you do the auctioneers one?
Yeah,
no?
I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm just gibberish, basically.
Yeah, no, you got to go to school for that. You got to go to a whole auctioneer school. It's an art.
It's auctioneer. Our auctioneer is like
It just sounds like Porky Pig.
I mean, it's a talent.
It is a talent. Yeah.
But if you keep raising the whatever, it's not ending in a certain time.
Right.
I think
the
those
traditional,
are
like in real life
paddles.
bidding
I believe they're paddles.
If we're going popcorn bidding, in real life bidding auctions, it's popcorn bidding. That's how it all works. So it's going back to
the going once,
going
twice.
Yeah. Right.
Sold. That's the thing. That's popcorn.
That's essentially what's happening.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And we're just translating that to eBay.
That doesn't take 2 minutes to say going once, going twice.
No, it doesn't.
Sold.
Yeah.
It's like going once and then just waiting for 45 seconds.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, no, that would be the worst auction.
That would be the
worst.
That would be the worst auctioneer in history.
Yeah. No.
Just
be fired.
Just dead air for 45 seconds.
I wanted to quickly update my thoughts on the Labubu situation you guys were talking about yesterday.
Sure.
Because I got into your guys' podcast a little bit, but I didn't have a lot of Wi-Fi. Like I could like text but I couldn't watch video sometimes. But I don't get why people would want to grade these because they are so commonly produced. Every Labubu case that you buy has 6 Labubus, and unless you get the rare, you're getting 1 of each color in the set to complete a set. So a lot of people buy the 6 as opposed to 1. It's like $200 for 6 of them, or $27 for 1 if you're lucky enough to get one. And there's a card in there that signifies what Labubu you got as well to hopefully make sure it's authentic. So don't buy them from Mexico. They're about $10, but they're called Lafufus.
Lafufu is I learned about Lafufu.
We bought some. Yeah,
are they called Lafufus?
No, it looks the box looks exactly like the real thing,
right.
but it's not.
But it is a fake Labubu, aka a Lafufu.
They're like Louis Vuittons and their Gucci's look pretty good, but like not the Labubus. But I'm just concerned that there's really no rares, there's no one-on-ones, there's just the cards that come in there. So it's like, why are we grading these things? Is it a way for the adults to keep the cards and the kids to have the doll? I don't know, but
I don't really get it at all. Frankly, I think it's again just our neck of the woods, our corner of the collectible world, trying to get into that corner of the collectible world,
and it hasn't been around long enough to see if it's going to stick. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, because I think the first ones were made. I mean, they've been around for a little while, but really have only taken off in the last year.
Can't they just make like 4 billion of them?
They do. They already do that.
Have.
Yeah.
But why? But no. Well, obviously, like
there are some that are limited edition.
The demand is greater than the supply because people are waiting out of these like Pop Marts, waiting for them. And they're selling out.
This guy, the guy that owns Pop Mart, he's in China. He made $1.65 billion in one day of sales of Labubus. He's actually the 10th richest person in China, just on Labubus right now.
Good Lord.
And it's crazy. And
so if they're being made in that quantity, then we're pretty much going directly towards what Beanie Babies were.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
yeah.
It's 100%.
But we didn't have there is the one rare that's 1 in 84. Now, I don't know if there's still 100,000 of those made.
But there was also rare Beanie Babies.
Yeah,
there were. Yeah,
but they weren't blind boxed and wrapped.
That's the thing. Yeah, the blind box part of it. That part, there's the designer toy part of it where you're putting it on a bag, like we said last week, like you put it on your little Louis Vuitton. Like,
they have hard shell cases for them now too.
Right.
So, who actually started it? I don't know if you guys know who this is, but Blackpink was one of the first persons that first people. It's a group actually. Blackpink's a group, but one of the girls in the group had it on her purse, and then it just viral.
I don't know who that is.
Blackpink?
They're like a K-pop.
Oh, did you watch the latest season of White Lotus?
What?
Seriously, did you watch White Lotus?
Yes, I did.
Ty.
You're talking about the last one.
Yes, she works at the resort. And,
she is
a member of Blackpink.
She was friends with the security guy.
Yes, exactly.
I believe there's only 2 members of Blackpink, right? It's just
I don't know, unfortunately.
Oh wow, we got a ghost in here.
Okay,
yeah, we got a ghost. Yeah, anyway.
We're moving out.
Yeah. All right, so let's go from.
I need to talk to the maintenance person. This is out of control.
Yeah. We're gonna get flooded here soon.
We're gonna get flooded. We're gonna get flooded, and it wouldn't be the first time.
Actually, it's not probably a good time to talk about flooding. Too soon. My heart goes out to those in Texas. But anyways, WNBA rookie royalty. You guys talked about this last week, where me and Dan. I was in the passenger seat on the way to Long Beach, and I was watching it, and I'm like, I think you bought one at $14,000.
15
grand. Well, it is what it is. And then we kind of slowly bought more. We got a lot of ours around 4,500, whatever it is with tax. Wound up getting like 16 boxes. And I was like, man, I can't believe it went down to the floor. But the sales on this, and when we're talking about a product that only has Caitlin Clark autos and Angel Reese autos, and then, of course, the Downtowns and Kabooms are of other rookies. Only 2 cards in the set. The sales are insane. There was a gold Kaboom that reached $66K on a private sale.
Yeah, sources telling me, I think this was in a Facebook group actually, that there was a $66,000 gold Caitlin Clark Kaboom.
Number to 10, right?
Number to 10.
Wow.
In a private sale. But even the public sales are pretty jaw-dropping right now. You can see that's 4 Caitlin Clark cards, 2 NTs, 1 flawless, and 1 immaculate number to 5, all in the $22,000 to $25,000 range.
Why's the
right
flawless selling for so much?
I don't know.
Like flawless RPAs don't generally sell for as much. I actually had a
for old men collectors, correct?
I had
the younger, the Gen Z guys that have Labubus hanging, they like flawless.
Right. I had a conversation. I have a $5 bet with with young Alex. He was telling me that flawless, the rookie logo mans and flawless will always outsell the rookie logo mans and national treasures. And I told him, nah, bruh. Nah. I'm all, you're flat wrong.
Let's see, is this the new
I think it's
age?
I think it's a 50-50. It is a new age thing. For whatever reason, after the Pandy, people liked flawless more than national treasure.
No,
before the Pandy, national treasure was the thing.
When it comes to high end, national treasures is your daddy's high end. And it will always be your daddy's high end.
Well, I think
it will always be the number 1 high end because it just has that lineage.
It does, and I agree with you. But I think the the Bing Bang Boom guys on like Whatnot, they are flawless guys now, and they've turned a lot of the Bing Bang Boom, the sock with the sandal type of 22, 23-year-old, 24-year-old guys. They are flawless guys now.
You mean slides, bro? I think they're slides.
I was actually wearing some socks with slides the other day. So
yeah,
it's
kind of.
Were you going around going Bing Bang Boom?
As good as comfortable. I would say that. Yeah.
The repack auction guys, that the only products they do that's not their repacks are like flawless, pretty much. So they do flawless, they do sparkle packs, and then they do the repacks. Yep. That's about it. They don't. The National Treasures is not worth their time. It's too mass produced. So they don't get with that stuff. They don't mess with that stuff though.
Yeah, come on.
Okay, well,
but I personally am with you. I would rather have the NT logo man.
No,
than the flawless.
I think if you take the logo man out of National Treasures and the same player logo man out of flawless, I think the National Treasures is going to outsell the flawless. Am I crazy?
We will see soon enough.
No, that's what that's what everything has told us throughout the years.
Numbered to 99 RPAs out of National Treasures outsell a numbered to 25 RPA.
Well, we could probably find the data. We're not ready for finding this data, but we could probably take a player like Banchero and see if his flawless sold for more than his NT. We could probably find that data out.
Yeah,
maybe,
I'll see if I can put this.
But that right there. Some of those cards that you were showing, those Caitlin Clarks. That's out of a brand new product out of the gate, $25K for some of these RPAs.
Yeah, and you're going to get her 50% of the time, box wise.
If you look at any product, this is probably the best return on investment of any sealed product we've seen
at the floor price. Yes, at the floor price.
Well, yeah, no, not at my
not the recent price.
Not at my dumb price of 15.
No, I was telling you, I was with you because it was such new territory. Because if they made a Wembanyama or a Banchero or Cade Cunningham at the time,
now the data, it would have been the data we have though. Let's say we have this data, and we can go in the Wayback Machine, like a week ago. And they run the Dutch auction, knowing what we know now, what these cards sell for. It sells for $30,000, right?
I don't know if it sells for $30,000.
No, I think it does.
I think it sells out at like 9 or 10.
I think it's gone right away. If people are like, there's so many $20,000 cards.
Counterpoint.
Okay, maybe not $30,000, but I think it sells for $10,000. I think it sells out at $10,000.
Here are the best selling Angel Reese cards so far. There is the Pen Pals Elite 1 of 1 at 3,500 is the number one seller.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, these are look. I'm not saying these are still high price cards. These are still big high price cards, but a far cry from the 20K we were talking for the Caitlin Clark. So there is a feeling of
25 greater than 3.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Caitlin Clark or bust. Right? But again,
but you're
50-50 odds. You're right. You're right.
50-50.
And the downtowns, I think I saw the just regular or the base kaboom.
You can go through 20 cases of flawless.
Right.
And not hit a $20,000 card.
I think a regular kaboom of Caitlin Clark is still like an 8K card. So, yeah,
So you could get one of those Angel Reese cards for $3,000 and then get a gold.
Yeah, you could, and you could get a gold kaboom Caitlin Clark, and you're like, I'm good. Yeah, I'm fine.
I think
or get a regular kaboom Caitlin Clark.
I think if this went, I think if we did a Dutch auction again, I truly think it does not hit lower than $10,000. I think it sells out at $10,000.
That might be,
not $30,000.
Yeah, $10,000 I think is fair.
But I think $10,000 it sells out. But it supposedly we didn't get any at the floor, but it was readily available right above the floor. Like, could have checked out with.
I was doing one box at a time because I was sure.
You should have gone 10 boxes at a time.
I should have.
You should have bought $1 million worth of rookie royalty.
Yeah.
By the way, Paolo Banchero, I can't find the flawless, but Paolo Banchero rookie logo man auto sold for $158,000 in March of last year.
Flawless or
no NT.
NT.
Okay, so I'm right.
I don't know what the flawless is, but
there's no way the flawless sold.
And there's
for more than
another. So we
150,000.
pulled two of these. Actually, this might be one. This might have been one that Greg pulled. 7 out of 15 Sapphire Flawless Caitlin Clark with a day left is currently at $18,000.
Wow.
So a
Yeah,
full 23 hours left.
I believe that's the one he pulled.
Yeah, 7 out of 15.
Wow.
So. So a Caitlin Clark, 7 of 15, 7 plus 15 equals 22, which is the jersey number.
Well, there you go. So it's jersey number.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, in a roundabout way, yes.
Sure. You think that's helping the price at all?
It doesn't hurt.
Doesn't surely. I guess it doesn't.
I mean,
hurt.
I actually don't think anybody who's bidding on that is actually reading the description.
No.
I hit this card on 7-2 with Mojobreaks. So it wasn't with us then.
Well, I mean, honestly,
so
from a grammar, they're correct, because it's not like we started and did one break and then we called it quits.
we did multiple.
We
breaks
didn't
of it.
basically
That's not wrong.
we are Mojobreak. We're gonna do one break, and then we're done.
Yeah.
We do more than one break.
Yeah, but it's not like they don't call it Jack in the Boxes.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? There's more than one box to keep people get a Jack in the Box.
Jack in a Box. I mean, it's based off the toy, right? So I guess there's more than one Jack in a Box.
Yeah, but it's the one in the box.
In the box.
Yeah, so they don't have the S on
Jack
the
in the
end.
Boxes.
Yeah.
Taco Bells?
Sounds like a band.
Yeah.
Jack in the Boxes.
I mean, just everything here. The prices, the boxes themselves are pretty wild. I think I have seen the discussion of this product cross over into the mainstream a little bit. Some people that I follow on social media who don't talk about this stuff very often are just in awe that there is a box of cards with 2 cards that is selling on the secondary market for $8,000 to $10,000, and 2 for it to be like, wow, it shows the growth of who we're collecting, what we're collecting, of WNBA collecting, that it's a WNBA specific product that is a 10K box on the secondary market.
I still see
People
see a lot of
shocked
posts though that it's for clickbait, that people refer to this product as a $30,000 box.
Yes, I mean, we talked about it last week.
It didn't sell for $30,000, but if you still see comments and are like, well, this product costs $30,000.
Right.
It's like, no, it cost $4,100 technically, because I don't think once it hit that 3,000, you couldn't click on it.
Could.
So.
No. I would love for somebody to come and be like, I got it at $3K, because I don't think anybody got it at $3K.
No. We said it last week, but I'll say it again. I mean, it's actually the $30K sticker shock price was kind of a perfect marketing for, like, everybody talked about. Everybody made a post, $30K for 2 cards. We did it. Everybody did it. And it just got
I'll tell you what it did do, though. It confused these 2 dudes. We couldn't figure out what this product was supposed to sell for.
To your point,
I don't think Panini knew what it was going to sell for, so that's why they did it such a broad range.
At 100,000.
I know.
for 2 cards.
But it was going down. It was the highest, like, because you have 2 hours to go down to 3,000. It was like every drop of $1,000. Yeah. It was like when you're dealing with like Mosaic starts at 1,000 and goes to 300. It's like $20 every 5 minutes on the Dutch. But with this also, before we move on to the next topic, Paige Bueckers, rookie royalty.
That's the thing does this get? You're right. Do we repeat this? And she's having a great rookie year. She's very popular.
But who do you pair her with?
That's the thing there isn't like a very obvious 1-2 punch like there was with Clark, with Angel Reese.
What you could do? You know what you could do?
They're going to.
You know what you could do? I just thought of this. You kind of time it right after the next year's NBA draft.
Mm-hmm.
Juju Watkins, Paige Bueckers.
I mean, that would be probably what they would love to do. Yeah.
I don't know if it's feasible, but
I don't know.
And
she's going to be out for a considerable amount of time too because of that injury she got.
Or they just do Paige Bueckers with somebody else, and then do Juju Watkins with somebody else. Yeah. Well, or this might be the only time they do it.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a perfect storm. You have Caitlin Clark, who is one of the top 5, maybe top 3 collected athletes right now in this entire hobby. You have Angel Reese, who is still a very popular big name. They're going to be intertwined forever and ever. It kind of is just a perfect storm. And it's hard. It's hard to. I don't know if they can replicate this next year.
And is it? Last question. Would you buy Angel Reese cards at these prices? Are these the peak of Angel Reese cards?
Probably.
Think so?
Probably.
Because there's such a disparity. You feel like there's room for growth if she puts together something.
Ultimately, it's just it's the type of player she is. We see it in the NBA too. It's just players who get a lot of rebounds are more defensively minded. Like they just don't sell as well. They just don't. She's racking up stats. She's like they're saying every night, like, wow, she set another record for rebounds. She set another but rebounds don't sell in this hobby. They just don't. I wish Ben Wallace would sell better. He just doesn't.
Ben Wallace.
Yeah. Shout out Ben Wallace. What a dude. What a dog.
What a dude.
He was awesome. I loved Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace is
You're
awesome.
right. Kevon Looney doesn't sell for well.
Respect to Loon.
Where did he go again?
New Orleans. They're just bringing back in fact, I'm wearing the shirt.
Actually,
they're just bringing back the 21-22 Warriors. Yeah.
Jordan Poole, Pelicans.
Kevon Looney, Pelicans. There are rumors that Jonathan Kuminga could get traded to the Pelicans. Just run it back.
Smoothie King.
Yeah,
run it back without Steph and
I think it
works.
was I think it was over for Looney. I think Looney
Great run.
Great run. Definitely at the end of his tenure this last year, like he was losing minutes. Like he was getting down.
Still a good rebounder though.
Still a good rebounder.
Al Horford, come on down. That's the rumor.
Jeez, how old is he? Like
39.
39. Jeez.
Yeah, so he's
in the 1988 draft.
Yeah. We're doing basically the Warriors are doing the version of what the San Francisco Giants did in the mid 2000s, where it's like, we have 40-year-old Barry Bonds. What do we do? I know. Let's get 3 other 40-year-olds to go along with them. No, it didn't work.
It didn't work.
No,
it never works.
With like Moises Alou
and Omar Vizquel and Steve Finley. It was just like, with that. I always say my favorite year where they had the oldest outfield in baseball.
Ray Durham,
a combined age of 120. It's Alou, Bonds, and Finley.
We still haven't had a good left fielder since then.
No, they haven't. Ellie Ramos, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. This week in the hobby, we kind of already touched on this, but the hobby is hot at a halfway point of 2025. GemRate reports that over 5 million cards have been graded since the beginning of this year. And according to Card Ladder, June was the biggest month in terms of auctioned and marketplace sales with 305 million in public sales, which tops the previous record in March. Explanation for market boom in a time of economic uncertainty. I also saw Mr. Wonderful, a clip floating around. I don't know how recent it was.
I saw that.
Where he was comparing sports collectibles, he called it, as an asset, as an alternative asset because of the growth is exponential. It's gone up more than some of the stocks and blah, 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 which I'm sure makes some people that are collectors, when you throw that investment word around, it really, bends their corners. So
I think there is we talked about it a little bit, but I think it's just all these numbers are just really solidifying this of just like there is a generation here, it's the millennials and Gen Z that are fueling it, that don't want to invest in stocks. They don't want to do that. It's either because things are so volatile, or for a lot of people, it's just boring to them. It's like, I could invest in Walmart, but what if I got this Steph Curry card? I like Steph Curry. I watch Steph Curry. It's fun. And he can go off for 50 points, be a Hall of Famer, and suddenly I've got this card that's worth, it feels almost safer to make a big purchase on that card than it is to like ride the highs and lows of the stock market. And it can be more fun too.
Well, and I'm not in any other industry, so I don't know how this works at shows. Like, you don't really hear of as many shows of, like, let's say gems or coins and stuff like that, right? That trade for currency and that go up and down in value. But and we're not privy to this because most of our sales are online, so we are we are paying the government. But I'm wondering how much of this is like, I just made $75,000 on crypto or whatever, and I'm going to take that money and I'm going to buy a card for $40,000, and then eventually I'm going to be able to take that $40,000 and turn it into $80,000 in cash Well, now that's not reported, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's got to be a little bit of an aspect of this growth.
It should be reported
on money. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying.
Right.
I'm not saying to do that. Believe me. I'm not giving. I'm not a financial advice.
Offering a financial advice here.
I think it's where you go. Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. Allegedly.
And we're clear.
I mean, I'm just saying. You see guys go up to tables. I mean, we were at Fanatics Fest. You see guys. It just nobody's paying card. Everybody's just, oh, you got that card? Or, we sold a card for $10,000. Guy's got the hundreds out. He's just throwing them on the table, And that's happening even at a bigger scale at some of these shows where it's like, okay, there's a $100,000 deal. Here's cash. I mean, do you think these guys, if they have property, if they have other businesses, allegedly, I wouldn't think that they would go, hey, government, I just sold this card for $100,000. Make sure you tax me on that. They're probably not.
Right.
So it's there's obviously some alleged benefits going on.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think you're off base there. I think there's something too about. I think.
What did they do with that cash though?
Remodel their home, buy a boat, buy a car.
You don't. Well, you can't put it in your bank account.
No,
right? Can't do that.
You go and just buy the nicest car in the lot.
I don't think you can do that either.
No,
I think there's a certain amount, at least in California. I think there's a certain amount you can go to a dealership.
No one's
cash.
pulling a. If you remember in Goodfellas, the guy comes in with the car after they did the big heist, and Robert De Niro gives him what for? It's like, I told you to lay low. What are you doing? You're showing it off, you idiot.
But you are like contractors, stuff like that. You can probably do cash.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just
allegedly.
I just don't know. It's like allegedly. Yeah, it's I don't want to use laundry, but there's I'm sure there's stuff going on to benefit certain individuals that you deal in a lot of cash.
Yeah.
That's a lot of these guys like that.
I think there is too that I think there's also a big reason you're seeing a huge peak is I think it's been really inflated by a lot of huge sales at the high end of the market. Like, it's not like in 2020 where everything was up. Everyone got their base cards graded, and then every base card was like a 15th year LeBron base card was worth $100, which is this is insane. That's not happening. But it's we're hearing a lot of highest sell for a Michael Jordan, highest sell for this guy, highest sell for a Shohei or whatever it might be. So
did you see the Joe Montana?
No.
So a Joe Montana PSA 10, which we have one, which I won't ever sell it, but $84,000.
Case in point.
Yeah.
There you go.
What did we pay for it?
$42,000.
Sick.
You're seeing
we won.
Right.
We never win. We never win. He's not even the greatest quarterback.
You're seeing these. Well, that's okay. You're seeing these record-breaking numbers
like
for
Jim Everett.
All right. Well,
Tony Banks.
Okay.
Well, for the worst, yeah.
Joe Montana.
Maybe the Rams.
Sure. Well, he'll on the Mount Rushmore at least. So.
I mean, he's not even better than Steve Bono.
Okay.
Well, but there is only in that specific card at PSA 10, 81 tops. There is only 105 in the PSA 10. Yep. So
the other card, we brought it up last week, looking at card sales. The Dr. J. Bird Magic is there's been a record-breaking sales of that one all of a sudden.
In a 10, right?
Right, in a 10.
That's been a roller coaster.
That's been a roller coaster, and it is at, I think, $500K last week. It's at an all-time peak right now.
So, I mean,
got one of those, too?
We don't have a 10, but we have 8s.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's close.
Never bought a 10.
Should still feel pretty good.
But we only bought them for like 1,000.
8 is closer to a 10 than a 2.
Than a 2. That's true. So it's I think it's really that is the biggest part of it. It's it's huge at the top, but if you go to sort of the the middle to bottom tier, you're not getting that same sort of.
Yeah, that Montana is an extremely low pop count on a 10.
Well, what was interesting, I saw the report, is Jerry Rice sold for the same price in a PSA 10. The 84 tops, I believe it is, without looking.
Right.
80,
I believe right.
86.
86?
86 tops.
86.
I should know. I don't have one of those in a 10, but supposedly those ones are even harder to grade of a Jerry Rice.
Got to figure they made more of that year than they did 81, though.
Yeah, 86. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But, sometimes we win. Sometimes we win on those cards.
That's crazy.
Take the win. But VeeFriends is announcing a partnership with Steph Curry on the first VeeFriends athlete sticker product, which has different versions of Steph Curry. I believe those are going to be released in the next week or so.
Yeah, it's going to be released pretty soon. There's also autographs of Curry in there with Gary V, and so it's interesting. First time partnering up with an athlete here for the VeeFriends brand, so that'll be interesting to see.
Good athlete to pair up with. I mean, the GOAT.
Yeah.
GOAT Steph Curry.
Good start, I would say. It's also, I've noticed Curry has been very, for a guy that I feel like has not like vocalized like a huge interest in the hobby. He did that deal with what was it from a couple of years? Was it last year where he had
the art cards?
The art cards he did that wasn't tag grading. I'm sorry, we did a whole thing with them, and I'm like blanking on their name. But I think it was like tag grading and another company that were doing art cards, and they got them graded with them. So, but they were exclusive Curry signed art cards. Now he's doing VeeFriends here. He's going like showing love to stuff in this realm that is not like. The traditional collectible stuff that I think is kind of interesting that Curry.
Yeah, and he signed for Leaf, he signed for Topps, he signed for Panini, he signs for Fanatics.
Does it all.
He gives his stuff out.
He is low key a man of the people when it comes to collectibles. So there's a man of the collectors. So we appreciate it, Steph.
Yep. So we'll have to check those out, which is not made by Topps. It's Canvas Marketing, I believe, is the company that's making the VeeFriends stickers.
If I'm not mistaken, let me double check. I think that's the company that did the other cards that I'm talking about right now. I could be wrong, but I'll double check.
I'm assuming these are stickers, right?
They are, and they're not all Steph Curry. I think he's in there, but they have some popular VeeFriends. I think there's like 50 or so popular VeeFriends characters on the super stickers, which they look great. They always they've released them before. But
by the way, it's 100%. It's the same one.
Okay.
That did the partnership last year. So so he's got to deal with Canvas, but still like same point stance, doing stuff that's creative that you wouldn't think maybe that he would typically do of a player of his stature.
Yep. Let's talk about James Wood. I mean, man, this guy. What do you have? A 5 for 5 the other night.
He's really good.
He's pretty good.
Look, I have been on this beat for a while. I'm a big fan of James Wood. I think again, I am always such a sucker for a guy who can just hit the ball 500 feet. And
so it's safe to say you have Wood for Wood.
So one might say that. I don't know if I'll say that. I don't know if I'm going to go on record.
Hypothetically, like a hobby would.
Sure. Hypothetically, yes.
As a baseball fan, you like guys who can hit the ball.
I like guys who hit dingers.
Yeah.
Ball go boom. I like guys who can do that.
And you're a Giants fan.
Sure.
Okay.
So it's probably wise.
You don't see a lot. You don't see a lot of home runs
I
being a Giants fan.
Like him, and I go, God, what I would give. To have.
Yeah, we're so deprived of the long ball.
And
these
also,
days.
we watched Barry Bonds for so long. I was like, everybody does this, right? And then it hasn't been that for 25 years, 20 years. So, but yeah, James Wood is doing really well. He's on the All-Star team. A lot of great representation for rookies and young guys on the All-Star team this year, but just a quick look at his market. You can see some of his most recent sales since the start of June. It's all that first Bowman. An orange sold on June 26th for $16,800. Red Lava on June 1st, $13,100, and a red Sapphire for $10,000, $10,600 on June 8th.
He's really undervalued.
He's
undervalued.
He was for a long time, and this is something we were talking about. Bubba and I were talking about last week on Wax Packs and Pointing Tracks every Friday here on wherever you get podcasts.
Check it out.
Mojobreak Media. That I think that at the beginning of the season, the way if you're looking at like break pricing for the Nationals, I think obviously James Wood was taken into that. He was a huge factor in that, but I think if you ask most collectors, where do you rank him? I think there was still a feeling of like, Cruz 1, Wood 2. And I was always on the no, Wood's number 1.
Yeah.
Cruz is 2. Now that's clear.
Yeah, Cruz has been on the IL for a while.
On the IL. He got off to a slow start. I still think he could be a very good player, but they also just fired their manager and their GM.
Jeez.
Because you look outside.
Dave Martinez,
who won the World Series. Mike Rizzo. Drafted Steven Strasburg, drafted Bryce Harper, got them the World Series.
Yeah.
Found Juan Soto. Gone.
Crazy.
Traded for Trey Turner.
Traded Juan Soto.
Traded
Trey Turner.
Trey Turner.
Got rid of Bryce Harper, too. Right?
Yeah, let Bryce Harper walk. But, they won a World Series the next year, so it worked out. Signed Max Scherzer.
And obviously, Pete Crow-Armstrong is on fire. Did you see the video? I don't know what game it happened where he slid into second. Did you see that controversial call? So he slid into second, but he kind of slid past the base, and he took his helmet off.
I think I saw
and
that.
he had his helmet touching the base.
Yeah.
But he physically
he held onto the helmet.
He held on to the helmet, but I believe they called him out because none of his body was touching.
No, I think
yeah.
Controversial call, right? What do you do?
Because you could say
what do you do?
You could say if your cleat is on the base.
True.
But that's attached to your body.
That's the thing.
So is the helmet.
The helmet flying off your head, though. Man, I don't know what you even do.
Well,
there.
theoretically,
but like you get hit by a pitch if your jersey's loose and it just hits your jersey, you get on base.
But
right?
let's just say we set an example of guys will slide with their helmet first.
True.
Right? Because then you could have an extra, little distance there.
It's tough though, because I'm also thinking if somebody...
You mean you're running and you're taking your helmet off? Yeah. I don't think that's going to work very well.
But you've seen the other example I'm thinking of, weird equipment rules. People can, if they can't get the ball out of the glove, they just take the glove off and throw it to first, and it's still an out, right? We've seen that every once in a while that happens. Technically, if you threw your glove up in the air, the ball is caught and you caught the glove, I think that technically is an out. I've heard that before. I don't know if that's totally. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, it's happened in many of beer league softball games, right. But I don't think it's ever happened in the majors.
Well, we saw last night if you're watching Giants and A's, Tyler Soderstrom, the ball off the glove and over the wall.
That poor dude. And Giants broadcast, best in the business.
Best in the business.
They were like, well, at least it didn't go off his head.
That's true. Sorry, Joe Adele.
Jose Canseco.
Sorry, Jose Canseco, Joe Adele a couple of years ago, if you remember that.
This is a weird. It's a weird stat. I think it's the only time it's ever happened in history. It's a little trivia question here, and it is Bay Area centric. The only player to hit a home run to not touch home in the history of baseball.
I do know this. I know this. Does Dan know this? It's also history. I'll just let you.
Is it Travis Ishikawa?
No, you're on the right team though. Right era too, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Benji Molina.
He basically hit the ball off the top of the wall. It came back into play, and he ran to first.
Or they considered it a ground rule double, I think.
I remember seeing that. So
no, you're right. He
got to first. They did a pinch runner for him, so they took him out of the game.
Manny Burris
goes to first. They review the play, and they say it's a home run, so Manny Burris.
And I believe it's also the first home run reversal in a home run reversed from hit to a single to home run in MLB history at that point.
Wow.
It's a little bit of history. Just happened to be a pinch runner. So, Manny Burris scored on
up on my Instagram, and this is the first time it's ever happened where a guy hit a home run but did not touch home plate.
Yeah.
Leave it to big money.
The big money. Yeah.
Big money.
Speaking of big money, take a look at these sales for three All-Stars. I think there's one here I think is very interesting. Pete Crow-Armstrong, people are obsessed with him. $32K for that red PSA 9. It sold back in June. It sold for $2,339 in April of last year. People were really sleeping on Pete Crow-Armstrong last year. And again, it makes sense. He had a slow year. Jacob Wilson, his ascent to the major leagues has been pretty wild. $10K, $10,559 for an orange PSA 10.
And for a guy that's still in the minors, it's crazy.
The dude could hit.
He can hit.
He's still in a minor league team playing in Sacramento.
He could just come over to the Giants now if he wants to.
He's really good. Sold for $1,355. That's interesting to me that he was selling low going into next season because he was starting to show he wasn't amazing last year, but you saw signs of this guy's already in the big leagues. He looks good.
He also has the lineage too.
But
his dad Jack Wilson.
A's prospects don't sell, so until they prove it, then they start selling.
And here's where I'm going to get on my what are we doing tirade. Riley Green's prices have gone down. He's a 2-time All-Star now. He was the former number 1 prospect in all of baseball. He's having his best season of his career. He's on pace for like 35, 40 homers. He's 24 years old. He plays for the best team in the American League. And this is a black refractor PSA 10 for his first Bowman. Sold in June 2022. Again, the peak of peak for a lot of these types of cards. $2,000. It's now selling for $840. I don't get that.
It's because the hype was he was the guy to chase.
Yeah.
If you go back to that screen, the other guys on there, they weren't as. I mean, Jacob Wilson had a little bit of hype. Crow-Armstrong had zero hype, other than like, Jesus Christ, his name's long. You know what I mean? Like it goes around his arms on his jersey. Nobody was really collecting him. So it's like sometimes it's better to have not that much hype and then build to the hype like we are now.
Yeah,
good point.
But Riley Green at $840 is really undervalued. That's a good buy.
Yeah, I mean, he's 24 years old. He's starting the All-Star game. He's had a great year, and he is going to be the face of that franchise here for a long, long time. Team that is finally starting to. All those young pieces are coming together and putting together. Looking really, really good.
You guys might talk about this on Wax Packs, and I'm sure Bubba's going to be excited to talk about this one. But this guy played, I don't know, he pitched for about 50 years, so he got his 3,000th strikeout.
Clayton Kershaw.
He played long enough. I mean, I could get 3,000 strikeouts, but I mean, but they're going to make that Topps now. Did you see that? They're going to have the Topps Dynasty again with the logo off the back of the jersey he wore on the 3,000 strikeout game.
Wow.
And you got to buy the $9 card in hopes of getting the.
I'll just pass on that one.
I think I'll pass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want it, but that's going to be a huge man. There's probably 5 pitchers, 5, maybe 10, 5. Let's be honest, that sell pretty well and have continued to sell well throughout their career. And Clayton Kershaw.
When was Clayton Kershaw a rookie? Like 1985 or something?
Like it at this
actually
point.
The same year as Lincecum.
Yeah. My favorite. This was going around.
No, his Bowman was 2005, I think.
I thought it was 07.
It's like I have to double check.
But I
think
maybe he's a rookie in 07.
Yeah, he was a rookie 07, if I'm not mistaken. But there's actually a great, if you can find the screenshot somewhere.
Did you know that him and Matt Stafford played on the same?
Yes, we all know this every time. Oh God, whenever.
I just thought I would bring it up again.
This is my least favorite part of watching football and baseball in October on Fox, because what they will always do, if it's the Rams playing and it's an October game,
they could not contain themselves.
The Dodgers will take on the Atlanta Braves tonight off the NLDS here on Fox. And would you look at this? Here's Matt Stafford, Rams quarterback, with we get it.
They can't help themselves.
We all know.
We know.
It's common knowledge now.
Right. But real quick about the Kershaw thing is there was a game I saw that it was a September game, the rookie season for Clayton Kershaw, and it was Dodgers and Diamondbacks. Something happened where the game became meaningless, and it was supposed to be Randy Johnson versus Greg Maddux. Both got scratched. And the replacement starters were, in their rookie seasons, Max Scherzer versus Clayton Kershaw.
Nice.
Wow.
Incredible.
That is incredible.
People went to that game thinking we're going to see 2 Hall of Famers. They still did.
Yeah.
They just didn't realize.
That's wild.
Yeah, pretty cool.
They're like, I'm going to sell my tickets now. Jeez.
Yeah. But to your point about Riley Green, you're 100% right. It's the thing I've started to really realize with Bowman. You would rather be the 10th or 11th hyped prospect in a Bowman product than the number 1 guy, because your market is just always.
I mean, look at Dominguez. I mean, he's back hitting good now, but we talk about a super fractor sold for $500,000.
It's just never going to live up to that.
I got one. Drew Jones. Like, what's Drew Jones's market like right now? Because I haven't heard really anything about him.
Drew Jones, and his stuff was going down.
His stuff was insanely high.
He
had those big bounties on his super
Yeah.
He had some injuries, if I'm not mistaken. Right now, he's still in high A. He has not made it past high A.
Jeez.
With a 639 OPS at the moment and a 248
who probably have
average.
6 figures.
248?
248 average, 78 games, 1 home run.
There's probably people who are have a collection of Drew Jones that's in the 6 figures.
Yeah.
Yep. If you get Bowman, if you hit one of those top 3, maybe even 5 guys, sell those guys. Everybody else, hang on to him. You never know. Maybe he'll be James Wood. maybe you'll be Pete Crow-Armstrong. You never know.
It's the play. All right, we'll leave you guys at that. Make sure you tune into Wax Packs and Warning Tracks every Friday. Cody and Bubba Breaks breaking down some baseball product for you guys and talking about the the next upcoming prospect. And make sure you RSVP for the National Thursday night, the July 31st. Make sure you guys hit our link tree and RSVP as soon as you can. Lock that in. Looking at hotels today, they're almost sold out, so you pretty much can't get any hotel close to the National now, but there is some on the outskirts that isn't too far. So if you're thinking about going, I would definitely book your trip now. If you're already going, RSVP to our party, and it'll be the time of your life, one for the memories, 15-year celebration, and we'll see you guys next week on The Hype. Peace.